I have Mr. James Crabtree. I also have JP and Jens Christian. Will you all come up, please? You can get started.
Dear members of the Health and Government Operations Committee, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to testify against House Bill 165. I'm James Crabtree, a Maryland resident and volunteer for Save Standard Time. On the darkest days of the year, the temptation of more time to spend in the sun can be challenging to resist. And in 1973, as the United States faced an energy crisis, federal lawmakers were enticed by the promise of brighter evenings and passed the same policy of permanent daylight saving time that Maryland's now considering. Then the first Monday of 1974 came and the sun rose at 8:25 a.m. in Annapolis. Jet blackness, as one mother described the scene at her daughter's bus stop, engulfed the nation until long after morning commuters had departed for work or school. While Standard Time was not due to return until October 1975, the failed experiment was ended 1 year early to spare citizens a second consecutive winter of morning misery. Scientists warn that exposure to excess evening sunlight and insufficient morning sunlight chronically worsens health, public safety, and the economy. Similarly, experts advise that humans operate ideally when the center of daylight hours roughly corresponds with civil noon, a phenomenon that occurs only when clocks are set to standard time. Introducing an hour of misalignment between solar time and circadian time perpetually deprives sleep, which explains all the negative trends that are associated with daylight saving time. While all residents of Maryland would suffer from the ramifications of extending DST through the winter, I often hear this issue discussed in the specific context of school start times. The academic day at most middle schools and high schools in Maryland already begins before the earliest time of 8:30 recommended by tens of organizations dedicated to pediatric health, forcing students to bed all their own biology to arrive at their morning classes on time. DST shifts school start times 1 additional hour earlier relative to the time of sunrise, negating all efforts to give students a healthy amount of morning sunlight before school. As a current high school student, the proposal or the prospect of seeing the sun first on January mornings halfway through my first class of the day instead of during my drive to school does not particularly appeal to me. No adjustment of time can make winter feel like summer, though extending DST can make winters far more dismal. I ask anyone who's interested in keeping time honest and helpful for an unfavorable report on House Bill 165, which seeks to redefine midnight as 1 hour before the middle of the night at the expense of quality of life and life itself. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. Are there any questions for this witness? Yes, Delegate Kerr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Crabtree, I have a question. If there had been an amendment to say that this would be standard time, would you still have come in unfavorable, or would you have been favorable with amendment?
I would have come in favorable if it were favorable with amendment if it had been modified to standard time. Or if that were being proposed, I would definitely request an amendment to permanent standard time. That would still satisfy the overall desire to end clock changes, but several organizations, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, American Medical Association, just to name a few off the top of my head, all endorse permanent standard time and strongly oppose permanent daylight time.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you so much for your time today.